Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non binary friends. And welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. It is indeed a brand new day. Gray and chill and just altogether an unpleasant day out there. Thumbs up for that. Using the webcam, even though it's a different angle because it's got a cord, but it's a fairly lengthy cord. It's just that my tablet can go places that this can't, but when it can, thumbs up for that. One of the big things I wanted to start off with is just a reminder that AI slash machine learning, the real name for it, is not an inherently terrible thing. The bad part that we're dealing with right now is the generative text and generative images. That's bad. That's just the plagiarism machine. And to run those, we're destroying the planet even faster than normal. But machine learning on its own is not bad. Wondershare's Filmora, the editor I use, yes, it has some AI features that you have to get a credit plan for, and then you get credits to use some AI features, like generative features. But for non-generative features, Filmora, like other things, has AI enhancement stuff. Like yesterday, it can't do it perfectly, but I uploaded a video where I was talking about how hard the menu music for the game Paint the Town Red goes. Oh my god, it is amazing music. But I forgot to turn off this fan over here, and it's loud. It was terrible sounding. Horrible audio. But I ran the AI denoiser, and aside from a few issues, it did a pretty good job. There's nothing inherently wrong with machine learning. I have seen some video of video that was taken over 100 years ago, and the machine learning algorithms were able to clean it up so it looked like it was shot yesterday. And there's nothing wrong with that kind of machine learning. It's all this generative garbage destroying everything. Thumbs up for that. Now I do want to see if my cord will stretch this far. I can. Oh, it just misses. This is my. Oh, you can kind of see it over on the edge. This is as far as it goes. This is my mouse. It's pulsing with color, and I am really sorry that I cannot stretch it out into view any further than that. If it doesn't make it, I'll have to try and make a short video of it later. But the point being, it wasn't doing that before. My keyboard glows red, annoyingly. I'd rather it made no color at all, but it does. But that's okay. It's livable. My mouse used to just glow red. Something happened where my mouse just stopped working one day. I can't remember why. That still happens with this. Very annoying, just like it did on every other system I've ever had throughout the last decades. But the mouse stopped working, and one of the things I did was I picked it up and noticed there was a little button on the bottom. So I pressed the button, and it started pulsing the color. Okay, maybe there's another feature. If I press it again, maybe it goes back to just a steady red glow. I don't know. I can live with it pulsing with color. I have my computer's RGB stuff set to go and just slowly phase color to color to color. So it's going fade from red to blue, blue to green, green to red, and then however the RGB color wheel goes. RGB color wheel goes. Which ADHD brain, good, I enjoy having that. It's an Asus motherboard. Asus has a program, an app called Armory Crate that's in charge of a whole bunch of stuff. You know, fans and this, that, and the other in your machine. You can overclock. But it's also in charge of the aura, the stuff that'll work with it, and that's the color stuff. And so it's in charge of color cycling or whatever choice I choose. But so frequently, it'll just die. The whole thing will just die. I'll just notice that all the fans have gone black. And because it's got a color thing on the RAM sticks, I'll notice they've died. And Armory Crate will just go, checking to see if you have any devices, but I don't think you do. And then it takes a restart and then the color goes again. But who cares if whether it has RGB color or not? You know? Yeah, man. And I finally went. I only make it out to my mailbox like every week or so. Not because it's far away, but just because I don't think about it. They're all in these. We have a lot of them just when I go out walking. Neighborhoods now will just, everybody's post office box. Well, yeah, it's a post office box. Instead of a mailbox, there'll just be a big box where everyone has a key. They can open up and check their slots, and they're all in one centralized area. We have one of those big things with everybody's mail going into one big box. I only make it there about once a week. One of the things I have ordered, though, are these. And these just showed up. But these are tarot card sleeve size. Card sleeves. Just like it says, card sleeves. But these are, card sleeves are just so that you can play your game or have cards that you want to have not get destroyed by time and finger oils so that they'll last longer. And you just put the card inside the sleeve, and then you either, again, put it on display, put them in a box, or use them to play so that you don't destroy the card. You'd be surprised how many games have tarot card size cards. The Space Marine one that I have, Space Marine Adventures, Labyrinth of the Necrons, I think it's called. Most of this is 110 cards sleeves. I don't even know if this is enough card sleeves to have all the cards out of the game. So there's a lot of games out there that have weird sized cards. If you want to sleeve your cards, and it depends on the cards being made. I showed off the game Resist, where it's about the Spanish Maquis and their fight against the Franco regime. I got some of the times wrong because I don't live in Spain. I haven't lived through the Spanish timeline. It's not a big part of my culture and history. It started in the 1930s. The game takes place during the 1950s, and I think it fell during that time. I'm not sure about, again, it's not my history, aside from it being human history, but it's not. I live in this vast barren wasteland, the United States. I only put it that way because people from other countries often don't realize how big the United States is. It's huge. We can drive in the United States for 8 hours, and you haven't even left Washington State. So it's huge. It is, by those terms, a barren wasteland, because there are huge amounts of area where there ain't nothing but nature, which nothing wrong with that. Now, why'd I bring all that up? I can't remember, the whole Franco thing. But the cards from that game, they are actually plastic. It's not actually coated plastic, but the material is something that even if you were playing with like pizza oil on your fingers, you could wipe that off with a cloth, a clean cloth, of course, and the oil would come out. It's that kind of coating on the cards. So even though I put the cards in sleeves, technically I didn't have to. And at the same time, this sort of thing, I am contributing, although my use is next to nothing. Death of the Planet. This is 110 tiny little plastic sleeves. It takes the longest... I'll try that again in English. Our longest living plastics will take 500 years to fully break down, and they will be emitting greenhouse gases those entire times. Which I'm going to talk about this one. I don't like talking about current events, but I'm going to talk about this one. The huge fire going on and destroying LA right now. This is what I have been thinking about and worrying about with climate change for quite some time now. That everyone, it's like, oh, these fires, they're not going to be a problem. Yeah, they are. They're going to be burning down our cities more and more. You can't maintain a civilization when all of your cities are being destroyed one by one. And this is not going to get better. This is getting worse. And even if we slammed on the brakes right now, things are going to get worse for 500 years as all the plastics that we have made continue to break down. I don't like talking about current events, but this is really, really bad. Coupled with, I don't know how you're supposed to maintain a civilization when that sheet of ice falls off the Antarctic shelf and it melts. The ocean levels are going to go up 17 feet. When you take a look at just the United States alone and you raise the water levels 10 feet, most of the U.S. vanishes. Raise it another 7? I don't think there's going to be anything left. So, oh boy, life is fun. Checking the time. I haven't just been thinking about depressing things, though. I have been actually living my life. I have been reading more of Nethalas. I have not made up a character yet, but I've been reading stuff. This is the thing about the writer, Alex T., who is Black Oath Entertainment. When I have talked to him, which I have done on Twitter and emails and stuff like that, when I have talked to him and I said, I am in awe of your content, at the amount of stuff that you put out. During the time that you put out a book, I can write like 10 pages. But he says, yeah, basically what he does is he sits down and he creates, just writes for 8 hours a day or more. He is dedicated to his concepts. But it is complex. Because combat, you have a combat skill. And the monsters have a combat skill. Now, if you're being attacked, you're going to want to, well, it's a combat round. You don't know who is going to successfully win or lose. It is a simultaneous roll. You roll your combat skill as your player character. You roll for the monster to roll. Now, hopefully that made sense. You have a combat skill. The monster has a combat skill. Let's say yours is 60, theirs is 50. You're trying to roll under 60. They're trying to roll under 50. But you're trying to roll above their number. If you both make your number, it's whoever succeeds is higher. If one of you fails, the other one automatically wins. And whoever rolls doubles, if you have doubles underneath your combat skill, that's a critical success. If you roll doubles above your number, that's a critical failure. So it's kind of complex, because you got to roll not only under your number, but over your opponent's number. So how about that? But it's also kind of hard to die at the same time, because your character has two kinds of hit points: toughness and hit points. And then you add those together, because you take away from your toughness first, then you take away from the hit points. And afterward, if you lose X number of hit point toughness, well, if you didn't lose any hit points, even if you did, you automatically gain a number back of your toughness, just instantly. So it's kind of hard to die. And there's even an official thing in the rules where if you die and you do not want to start up a new character, bring your character back to life. But you lose some skills and masteries. So there's a penalty. But you can come back. There's another game, I can't remember which one. It's one of these simpler dungeon crawling types. It might even be One-Shot Dungeon, I think it is. No, I can't remember which one it is, but there's a roguelite mode where if you die, there's some being, a god or goddess or whatever, that will resurrect you back at the beginning of the dungeon. And you can keep going until you win. So, thumbs up. Yay. And of course, I have been thinking of my creative things as best that I can, trying to think about characters and situations with all of my settings. I would love to go through and talk about all of my characters again, just to keep them fresh in my mind, remind people that may have heard them, and for anybody that's new that didn't hear me talking about my stuff years back before I went homeless, just to fill you in. Because in my cryptid setting, I like to think about this one character, Reginald. And Reginald is a werewolf. And Reginald, in the cryptid setting, most people were very afraid of him and avoided him because he tended to devour, people that came up to him. Until one person went up to talk to him. This fellow that helped to kick off the whole cryptid setting, a guy called Jerry Brighthammer, who just one day wakes up and his third eye has opened. And that is, your cryptid sense is become active. You're still human, but you are now a part of the cryptid world. You're, in gamified terms, if you have a cryptid sense of 0 to 50, your eye is closed. You cannot interact with the cryptid world. From 51 to 100, your eyes are open and you're interacting with the cryptid world. Most people are like 51, 60, and then smaller numbers 61 to 70, smaller numbers 71 to 80, until, those that are up at the higher ranges, a very, very small number. And Jerry Brighthammer has what is effectively 100 maxed out. And he talks to Reginald because it's a new world and you feel stoned. The greater your cryptid sense, the further your third eye is open, the better you feel. And oh boy, you just feel kind of stoned all the time. You just have this bleed over from all your extra universal senses, and everything just looks and feels beautiful. So he's wandering around in this first 12 hours of it and finds Reginald. And Reginald again is a werewolf, just sitting on a park bench by himself. And Reginald, as it turns out, because he sits down to talk to him. And Reginald talks because Reginald isn't a bad guy, he's just a werewolf. And he's not a man that turns into a wolf or a woman that turns into a wolf. No, it's a wolf that turns into a hybrid wolf human form. And they have a very nervous disposition, unfortunately. They have a lot of anxieties. And because of that, they are a stress eater. And because he's a cryptid, and the cryptids human taste best, he tends to eat a lot of humans and, well, also a lot of other cryptids. But once Jerry goes up and talks to him and finds out what's going on and talks to the others and people start coming up and being careful, then yeah, they discover Reginald is a nice werewolf. Now, of course, like everybody, they have foibles. His name is Reginald. It's not Reggie. It's not anything else. And everybody gets one. Because everybody makes mistakes. You can accidentally call him Reggie or whatever. And you get one. He won't kill you. He won't eat you. He probably won't hurt you that bad. But you'll survive it. Some people get a second one. Most people just, if you call him Reggie a second time, you're just, and just has to take a nap while he gets some digesting done. So, but otherwise, Reginald is a really nice individual. There are 3 layers to the cryptid world. Cryptids are largely trying to move upward through this cryptid existence. It takes generations. It's not something that you do, in even one lifetime. It's your children are a little higher, their children, until eventually they're up into the next level. But the higher you get up this direction, the less you can interact down here. Most of Reginald's family is traveling upward, but Reginald, with his anxieties, just doesn't want to really let go of down here. Doesn't feel really good about going upward yet. So just hanging around down here for right now. But yeah, Reginald, nice person. Just don't call him Reggie. And hey, call to action. One day I'm going to start doing this at the beginning of the videos. If you could like, comment, share, or subscribe, that would be very, very cool. And of course, if you could share only with people that you think would like watching an old man yammer on in an inane fashion and about incomprehensible subjects, mostly incomprehensible because of the inane fashion in which they are presented. I had been pronouncing it inane because that is the way I learned it. And throughout my years, decades, nobody has ever corrected me or told me otherwise because why? People mispronounce things on purpose all the time. I say things that are weird like that just because you go, oh, it's part of my personality. But it's pronounced inane, and I've been pronouncing it inane. And I may continue pronouncing it inane because, again, there's words that I do pronounce like that, just in a goofy fashion, because it's part of my personality. People do that, and I'm a people. But I just thought it was funny when it was pointed out because I went and I looked it up on the pronunciation online. It was like, yep, inane. And I'm like, huh. You learn something new every day. So yeah, thumbs up. Thank you much. And of course, if you're a patron, thumbs up and thank you. You are a beautiful and awesome individual. I still most likely will not have names up here today. I am so sorry. But you are beautiful and awesome. When you look in the mirror, you know that. And for everybody that leaves a comment, you too are beautiful and awesome in your own way. thumbs up and thank you for that. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up and heart each comment that YouTube allows, and I answer as many as my nerve compression will let me, which isn't as many as I would like, but at least it's some. And of course, I do my best to try and answer as many comments as I can. It can take me a couple days to do so. If I haven't answered it by like the third day, I'm not going to be able to get to it. But thumbs up and thank you much. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. And of course, if you can't get enough of me, I do have my community tab where I usually post goofy pictures from the video games I'm playing, but I also talk about like life and hey, maybe about why a video is going to be late or if there's a reason why there isn't one at all. So thumbs up for that. Anyway though, I'm going to edit, render, upload. I've paid all my bills. I still need to call up my cardiologist and make an appointment to discuss my ultrasound, but that's not the end of my life if I don't do it today, so thumbs up for that. Hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done, and if not, please do not beat yourself up. It's not going to help you get it done better next time, and it only makes you feel bad, and you deserve better. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. I have been trying to keep the top of my head in from getting up like this and being cut off, and I don't want to be like down here, like I'm down on my hands and knees on the floor with just my head poking up. So hopefully I have been well centered. Thumbs up. But yeah, past that, I'm just going to take care of myself. So I'm going to reach over here, and I'm going to hit that stop recording button, and I'm going to talk about it when really I could just do it, not talk about it, and then people wouldn't even know the struggles I'm going through to reach over and do that. I could. I certainly could.